Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to another movie review. I watched the Equalizer the other day, and I have to say I was pretty disappointed. And this was a trailer that also disappointed me too. And I'll tell you why. When I first saw the trailer for this movie starring Denzel Washington, I thought that it was simply going to be about a guy who worked at Home Depot that was using the tools to kill people. It was like the first couple of scenes of the trailer. Then they were showing you a bunch of other stuff about, him getting revenge and it kind of feels like, familiar territory for a Denzel Washington picture, really. Man on Fire, Out of Time. We all see this, Denzel's out for revenge. He's rescuing somebody who was kidnapped, somewhere along those lines. Basically, he's out to get somebody. It's a chase, and these movies have been pretty popular, and I've enjoyed a lot of them. Man on Fire, Out of Time. I actually really enjoyed those movies. I enjoyed Denzel Washington as an actor. Now, this movie leaves a lot to be desired. This is a very poorly paced film. It also has a lot of filler in it. Something that was really funny about this movie is that I watched it on demand. I called it in with my dad and we watched it together. And no surprise, he fell asleep during the movie because it was pretty fucking boring for the most part. So I really wasn't too surprised there. Wasn't really that surprised that someone would fall asleep during a movie like this. And the thing was, he watched, you could say, basically the first 40 minutes of the film that lays out the plot. Basically it's a fucking hooker or, an escort who gets beaten, and basically Denzel wants to right those wrongs. Now, he rights a couple of other wrongs in this film that are completely unrelated to the central plot point of just that. Him basically going out there and defending this fucking whore, this fucking hooker, and it has nothing to do with it. So basically the point of my father falling asleep is that he woke up the last 20 minutes of the film. And basically that's it. You watch the beginning of this movie and you watch the end of this movie, and basically that's all you need to. Basically the meat of the movie is completely worthless. There is really nothing else. I mean, there's actually the best part of the movie has nothing to do with the plot. And what is that exactly? For me, it's when he beats up the corrupt cops that are taking money from the restaurant owner. That part, actually, I don't know, it resonated with me as probably the best part. And it really made me wish that this movie was about basically Denzel trying to right the wrongs of corrupt cops and trying to make them stop their evil, misguided ways. Now, I don't remember the last time I seen a film like that. And I would really like to see a film like that, but this is not a film like that. It's, a film that, kind of toys with that idea. And we really haven't seen a movie like that, trying to right the wrongs of corrupt cops. Now, there's Serpico, but he already is a cop. And I enjoyed that part, but it had nothing to do with the overall plot of the movie. It was just thrown in there for whatever reason. And the whole thing that was the most shocking part of the trailer, the whole Home Depot thing, him taking the tools, that actually is a part. Now, spoiler alert, just like any other thing. Come on, guys, this movie is, it's out on DVD and Blu-ray already, so there's really no spoilers here. Anyway, basically how this whole thing played out is the store that he's a manager in, whether it's Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever it's supposed to be, the store gets robbed. And basically, he, goes to find the guy, and he takes these tools off the shelf, and all you really see is him returning the tools and wiping them off and putting them back, kind of leaving it to the imagination. Now, if we're going to have filler, I want to fucking see that! I don't want to fucking imagine how brutal it was. Enough of this taking the easy way out. There's too many endings. There's too many fucking things like this nowadays. Oh, leave it up to the viewer. Fuck that fucking bullshit. I want to see it. I want to see the over-the-top violence. Don't tell me to imagine it. Don't tell me, oh, you know, I'm leaving it to your imagination, to your creativity. Oh, what a brilliant director. You know, he's leaving it open to interpretation. Not a movie like this. This is not a deep movie. This is not a movie that's trying to go for philosophy or some shit like that. This is a fucking action movie. It's a fucking, you know, drama, action, more on the action part. You know, and basically I feel no character development throughout this. Denzel, this is probably his blandest character yet. It's a very dry performance. There isn't a lot. They go for wit, the usual Denzel wit, but it really falls flat this time. As I said, it doesn't feel like Out of Time or Man on Fire. It feels like a man that's really, you know, the fire's been extinguished from the Man on Fire. It feels like just a man. You know, basically, just feels like a man that's going around that has, you know, some Marine training and is really good at beating up people. He times himself when it comes to completing these tasks. And there's a lot of little nuances like that. But altogether, you really can't say that this is a great film. You can't really just, you know, say that this is an awesome film because it's really not. You know, there's a couple of things that are pretty cool about it. A couple little scenes. But really, at the end of the day, there's nothing really too special about this film. And as I said, the meat of the movie, like the whole fucking, you know, at the end of the movie, 2 hours and 12 minutes. No way, motherfucker, should this movie be that fucking long. I'm fucking sorry, but there's no fucking way that this movie had it to be that goddamn long. No, I'm sorry, but there's no fucking way that this movie had it to be that goddamn fucking long. You know, you could sit there and you could be like, oh, you know, this is a movie that's just there for fun. It was a popcorn flick. But yes, I have seen popcorn flicks that are 4-star movies. I've seen popcorn flicks that actually make you think, that actually have a lot going for them. This movie really doesn't have a lot going for it. There's no reason why I could tell anybody to really go see this, to recommend this movie. There's, you know, oh, I recommend this because why? There's nothing really going on in it. It doesn't break new ground. I'm not saying every movie needs to break new ground. It's okay for some movies to borrow elements from others, and boy, does this movie ever borrow elements. First of all, I have to say that the, what was it? Final Destination 3, the whole thing, you know, where they were in the warehouse, you know, Home Depot, same shit, where they were being killed by fucking drills and shit. It kind of reminded me of that movie, and I should not be thinking of Final Destination during a Denzel Washington movie. You know, seriously, this is another movie where it's like, he's only one man. Oh yeah. I don't think they say that in this movie, but they probably say something to the effect of it. I don't fucking know. But I'm just thinking about it. It's like exactly, it is over the top, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of like Rambo style. My dad even pointed that out. Oh, you know, it's kind of like Rambo. He's picking them off, you know, one by one, you know, whatever's at his disposal. You know, he's not really using guns or anything like that. You know, it's kind of like that. He's just using what's around to, you know, beat up people and kill them and all that, you know. But it's not as good as Rambo. Not even fucking close. It's not even as good as Denzel Washington's past couple of movies. Even, you know, this is just a movie that really falls flat. It just falls flat on its face, and it, you know, I don't really know what this movie was trying to accomplish. As I said, you know, the first couple of minutes of the trailer were really interesting. You know, that whole part, you know, there was a lot of missed opportunities. There's a lot of ideas here, you know. What if he were to go after all the corrupt cops? You know, because he's such a righteous man full of righteous indignation. You know, he's full of all that good stuff. And they could have went that route, or they could have went the route of just, you know, he's a guy. You know, first of all, I thought he was a serial killer when I first saw the trailer for this movie. That's what it was. I didn't even think he was a good guy. Then I saw the rest of the trailer. I was like, well, that doesn't look as interesting as I once thought. Because really, that would be an interesting way of going about things. Think about it. At Home Depot, that's kind of like the shopping palace for the serial killer. You know, you have everything at your disposal. Practically almost everything is a weapon in Home Depot when you really think about it. I mean, you could even